Life is sweet. Let it sweep you off your feet.
Hi, this is Allie and Find Your Joy. Please remember to like and subscribe. And today I'm really excited because we have an amazing new up and coming designer. Her name is Kara Beach and she designs sea glass jewelry. She is currently attending Pacific Design Academy. I said that right, didn't I, Kara? It's
Yeah, you
Academy.
absolutely did. Yeah.
Woo woo. Okay. And learning how to, well, I'm kind of figuring she might be the next great designer in all things fashion and fabulousness. Kara, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me on here. I'm super excited to talk about Pacific Design Academy and everything that I do today. And
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so glad that you came and thanks for coming for such short notice. Just so you know, I only met Kara yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, I want you on my podcast. You're awesome. And she made that happen because you know what? Can I say your age? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Kara's 18, almost 19 for all those wondering. And she is already designing her own jewelry, has been doing that for some years now, and is currently attending college at the Academy of Design here in Victoria. And she is a young woman that's going to get stuff done. So I don't know, where will we start? Do you want to start at the design school and work back, or do you want to start at the beginning and move forward? What would you like?
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay. So what
Yeah.
the heck? How did you start doing all this?
Well, I just recently moved here from Alberta, just a small town near Edmonton. And like growing up, I've just always been into arts and crafts, and I knew that I was gonna be going into something artsy because I just couldn't see myself working in like an office job.
Right.
And throughout like middle school up to high school, I took all the art courses I could, and I even took a couple design courses, and then eventually I took a fashion design course that kind of led me to where I am today. And I just absolutely fell in love with designing. And at the first, I actually thought I might want to do architecture, but when I started designing clothes, that's kind of where that led me, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I think designing is definitely one of my passions.
Oh, that's amazing. So back in this small town that you grew up in, you yesterday we were talking about it, and you had mentioned that you had been doing some not fairs. What do you trade shows, not trade shows. What are they?
Farmers markets.
Farmers markets. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. And what kinds of things were you selling there?
So since I've been making jewelry, I started when I was 13 with my parents' help. They kind of helped me get into it, and
Yeah.
I was able to start working with someone who was already doing farmers markets. So my boss, I had him for about 3 years now, up until I moved, and it was great. And he kind of helped me learn about the business side of things while also learning about how to promote, and I helped promote his stuff as well. And yeah, he did teach me quite a bit, and it was so much fun being able to design my own jewelry and whatnot. And I kind of just learned on my own, and like while you're working these farmers markets, you can kind of go around and see what other people are making and get inspiration from them as well. So,
Oh, I love
yeah.
that. So 13. 13 and you were already designing things and not just designing it, like going out and actually creating a business. So this entrepreneur, well, a lot, if you're going to be an artist, it's pretty good to be an entrepreneur because promoting and being able to think of how you want things to be. I mean, that's not artists just are entrepreneurs. That's how it works because how else are we going to do anything? People are
Yeah.
not likely someone's going to come and just do that for us. So your first jewelry, did you start with sea glass?
I did not. That's something recent I've been doing ever since I moved to BC in August. I was like, well, now that I'm on the coast, like I can go find my own sea glass and like do it all locally, and I think that'd be super cool to be able to find the materials that you're going to work with. And I think it's just so like incredible, like the stuff that you can find here and just do things with. And I think it's so cool. And to be able to say like, oh, like this sea glass was found in the beach in Sydney, and being able to have like that personal connection with the sea glass.
Right.
Yeah.
And so so you started doing that, and so it's what's that? It's actually there's a name for that. Is it refurbishing? It's it's recycling. It's there's an actual term for it that I can't remember, that people who take something that was discarded in some way and then create something beautiful of it. So it's great for the environment. It's like you said, has this connection because it's something
Yeah.
that you saw and you chose specifically and then went and figured out, I'm gonna, do you know when you pick a piece up, do you typically know what you're going to do with it, or you just know you like it, or how does that work?
Not entirely, but sometimes when you pick pieces up, you can kind of tell, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. It's going to become earrings. I know where I'm going to put the hole on the jewelry. I know how it's going to like lay and everything. Or sometimes I'll start like with a sketch and I'll like pick out my piece of sea glass and I'll kind of draw it on the sketch and see how I want it to lay and everything.
Right?
So,
Oh, I love that. And
yeah.
so if you didn't start with sea glass, what did you start with?
Just like metal jewelry. So I started like hand like doing all the wiring and whatnot and making like
Oh,
I
okay.
started with initials and like having like personalized jewelry and whatnot. And then also doing like little pendants, and then I got into gemstones as well. And yeah, just like
How
little things. I really got into doing keychains as well. Those were a really big thing for me.
Oh my gosh, and just think of the nuances and how about design that you started at 13. So now you're almost 19. You're in going into your second term in Pacific design, but you've already been designing for almost 6 years. And
Yeah.
and that's a transferable skill from jewelry to clothing. It's right, it's a concept, it's how to put things together. It's all of those things that you've kind of been working on.
Absolutely. And like I've learned so many life skills just kind of being an entrepreneur and getting myself out there so young. And I was a very shy kid, so like presentating and stuff like that was very hard for me. So when I finally started like getting out there, it taught me that the world isn't as scary as it seems. And
Ah,
people are friendly and they're not going to judge you for starting to get into something like making jewelry or just whatever passion it is,
yeah. And if they do, that's on them anyways,
right? It's a
right?
reflection of themselves.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's go a little bit forward from the jewelry, and then you were in school and you took a fashion course. And what did you think about that when you first started it? What did you
Yeah,
How did you
well,
think that was going to go? Did you just know, or
I started it and I accidentally got myself in the course because it was the only thing I had left to pick, and it's the only class that was open. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll take fashion design. It might be fun. And the first like week, I was like, I don't know if I'm really enjoying this. And then the second week, everything picked up and we started sewing, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I knew almost immediately that this is what I was going to be doing. And I had a conversation with my teacher that I wanted to go to college for this, and she helped me every step of the way through, and she really like helped jumpstart a lot of the skills, and she pushed me to do like excel more in the program because she knew I wanted to go that direction.
that's amazing. So what kinds of things did you have to do to excel more? Like what does that look like? If I'm a pardon me, a high school senior and I've decided I know what I'm doing and my teacher's helping me, how do you accelerate that? What does that look like?
She would start recommending that like I could make different alterations to the patterns that she was
Oh,
giving us, and like
okay.
she was like, I think you should do this because it's a harder skill to learn, and I want to see you be able to complete that and learn how to do these kind of things.
Oh my, what a kind, generous gift to give, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely.
and so were there extra courses that you took at that time to prepare yourself? Like, was there some prerequisites that you took while you were in high school still?
Not as much. I did take, at the time I was taking it art 10, 20, and 30, and then I took design 10 to kind of get in to see if I wanted to do architecture, but that also links up with fashion design because I think all realms of design kind of interlink. And
Oh, yeah.
then I ended up taking fashion 10, 20, and 30. So I have kind of a lot of skill in art and fashion all at once in my grade 11 and 12 years finishing up. But at home, I was designing my own stuff and I was making stuff for farmers markets because I was working on the weekends. And so it felt like every day I was designing. And I think that really pushed me to become like a person who just really enjoys it. And like the practice is what makes perfect. And like finally being able to feel confident in what I make and the art that I create and enjoying what I do and seeing how other people enjoy what I make and how it impacts them as well.
Right, right. And so you were saying that you were sewing and doing these things. So when you make a design, now just bear with me because I know not very much about this. So you are already sewing. And now when you make a design, you actually are the person who sews it. I think in a lot of our minds we think of as designers of putting something together and then I don't know what. It's like a drawing, but no, you actually are a seamstress too, I guess, of
Yeah,
some sort.
absolutely. So what some people what will do is they will come up with a concept and they'll design it themselves, but then they'll send it to manufacturers to get it mass
Oh,
produced.
okay.
And what my plan is to do everything in small batches. So when I graduate, I'm hoping to do like all sustainable and like locally made clothing. And I might have a couple employees who help me source things and whatnot, but I'm hoping to have everything kind of hand sewn by me, like and machine sewn by myself as well. But I want to make every piece unique and important, and I don't want to have things mass produced. I feel like that needs to be changed in the world.
Wow, that's amazing. I suppose once you're like super famous, that might be harder to do. But or there'll just be you know what? Or there'll just be a long wait list to get a
Yeah.
to get a to get a Cara original. There might just be a wait list for that because it's just going to take time. I mean, any other artist. I have friends who are visual artists who paint, and if you want one of their paintings, you're going to wait till they have finished the other commissions they have or whatever projects they have, and then you're going to get that, and then it's going to be
Yeah.
exactly what you want. So that's really interesting. And do you have a plan? Do you think you might have your own boutique? Do you think you might source it out to local boutiques? Like, do you have an idea about what that might look like?
I have like sort of an idea. I'm hoping at the beginning that I'll source out to different like local clothing stores that kind of reflect my views. And then
Right.
eventually I'd like to have my own boutique one day. I think that would be so much fun.
Well, it would be like, and especially when it's your own. I remember shopping in this cool little shop. Niagara on the Lake is one of my favorite. I just love Niagara on the Lake so much. It's one of my favorite places to go, like in the world. I just love Niagara on the Lake so much. And there used to be, I haven't been there well, I haven't actually since before COVID. So it's been at least 5 years since I've been there. But there was always these really neat little shops, little boutiques. And even if the person didn't necessarily make them, there were handcrafted. Like I bought these two, I'm going to call them vests, but they're like an over, they sort of fall to the knee. And they're super duper fancy. Like they're not. They're simple, but they're fancy, if that makes any sense. And they're beaded by hand and they're beautiful. They're like
Oh,
$400 each for these vest things. But I was like staring at them. I wanted them so much. And my husband was like, I said, I just don't know which one to get. And he's like,
oh,
just get them both. And I'm like,
oh.
okay, it's a deal. So, but I love them. And anytime I wear one of those, right? Wear one of those pieces, people are always like, here I am, right? It's just this, I don't even know what you call that, a kind of it's made with lace, sort of, I guess, like a hard lace with, and it's got a design, they've done a hand applique design and then little beadwork on it. And it's just really lovely. But anybody who sees it, they always notice it. And the same with my friend Lorna, who has Bodacious. I was telling you about that, right? If
Yeah.
I wear something from her place, people will always say, "Oh my gosh, I like what you're wearing." And sometimes it's bloody leggings and a tunic, but because there's a quality and people recognize that. So that's what's going to happen, I see. I'll be walking down the street wearing my Cara Beach original, and people are going to go, "Oh my gosh, I love that." And they might have just seen five other something that is the same, like whether that's a maxi skirt or a something, but people know the difference. They see
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. When you make a garment that's of like higher quality fabrics, and like I know nowadays we have fast fashion that's really affordable, but
Right.
the textile waste that happens is not okay. And usually those garments will fall apart in the washing machine, which
Right.
shouldn't be what's happening at all. You should be able to wear a garment for years on end without it breaking or tearing or anything. You should be able to take care of it and it still look brand new. And so that's kind of something that I want to achieve for. And just where our planet's going right now is unfortunate. And if I can reduce the waste that goes there, I would love to do that.
That's amazing. I love that. And so, like, did you always like school? So you're loving what you're doing now, but were you just always kind of a keener? You loved school all the time, or
Not really. Growing up, I had a really hard time like connecting with the people that were in my classes, and I kind of
right,
felt out of place. And the only time I did feel in place was when I was taking my art classes and like people
right,
who were like-minded like me, it was much easier to find them there. And so, yeah, like especially getting into my fashion program, like I was almost best friends with my fashion design teacher. She was lovely and she helped me get through so much and she taught me so much and it was great. And yeah, really glad to have taken all those courses. And I wasn't one for like the like core class studies. Like I didn't really like English or math. I knew I wasn't going to be going that direction, but
right, right.
yeah, I'm really glad that I got led down the fashion direction. I think it's really suitable for me.
Right. And I get it that when we take those all those courses, it's to give us a well-rounded education. I get that. And it also helps us to stick out things that are difficult. It's sort of it's like I love that you had a teacher that came along and mentored you and helped you in the direction. Still needed to learn the other things and learn to suck it up and do it when it was hard, I guess, when we didn't really want to, because I'm guessing there's going to be times in your career there are going to be things that you will like less than other things. Maybe,
Absolutely.
and so I guess that's a good lesson about that. So what would you so now you're actually doing this, right? So you're now in the position of you made some choices like I just want to tell you, I am blown away by young people who can like at 13 and 15 go, I think I would like to do this and I'm going to start to prepare myself now. I promise you I wasn't doing that. I just, I wasn't. It's taken me decades of flip-flopping around. Well, I guess I was doing a bunch of things that I wanted, but I just think that the focus and the intent behind the way that you're walking this out is amazing to me.
Oh,
And
thank you.
well, it just is. Thank you, because it gives me so much hope. I'm always blown away when people like of my generation slag on people of your generation, because I think, are you kidding me? Look at these people. They're this is a great, these are this your generation and the generation just before you. They're amazing. Like you guys
Oh,
are
thank you.
you're gonna rock the planet. You are. You're gonna do great and wonderful things. And I'm grateful. I get it that we all stand on the shoulders of the generations before us and yada yada. But you made choices and you did hard work to get you to a place that you wanted to go to. And that's exciting.
Right? And it's not always going to be easy to do something like that. And I feel like that's where people kind of get caught up and lost is they're like, oh, that's going to be hard or I'm too young. But you're never too young to start something that you really
No,
enjoy doing.
or too old.
Right?
Right?
Yeah,
It just age
absolutely.
is just like this thing that just I love that you because it's true. Like I see like I've my grandkids are sort of in your same generation, right? And I see the things that they go for, and it's exciting to me. And I also see things that my son is going for, and that's exciting to me. Like he's in his mid 40s, right? And then there's me, slightly older. And I just think that I love that no matter where you are in life, you decide what you want to go for and you go for it. And then if you decide along the way you'd like to do something else, easy, shift on
Yeah.
we go. You were doing jewelry, now you're doing this. I'm gonna guess it in your boutique. you're going to have handmade jewelry and handmade clothes.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
would be my guess. Can you imagine walking into a Cara Beach store and then you leave and you're wearing the jewelry and the clothes and everyone will be like, "Oh my gosh, you got
Well,
that."
and
And
yeah, like something about me is I love having hobbies and I'll have as many hobbies as I can. And I'd love to even have more than clothing and jewelry in my store. I'd love to have all the art forms that I love doing because it's like I want the store that I have to be a reflection of the things that I love and enjoy doing. And I want it to kind of reflect me in there.
I love that. I love that. I think that if more people would be brave enough to do that, because first of all, we need to actually take a look at who are we even.
Yeah.
You're looking at creating a space that is a reflection of you and what matters to you, and to share that with the world, to share that beauty with the world. And that's amazing. And to me, what's even more exciting is that a person, and again, I don't want to like overdo this your age thing, not to be a, just so that you're clear, or that I'm clear in how I'm saying this. This is not out of a place of I'm thinking anything except for just mad respect that someone could figure things out and go for it at that age. And so, and kudos to your parents too, because
Oh
um,
yeah.
we all stand on the shoulders of the generations before us, and obviously they did an amazing job that you had that inside of you, but then you had to be the one to pick that up and run with
Mhm.
it. So that's very exciting. And I, for one, am looking very forward to saying, yeah, I knew Kara then.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see where everything takes me and it's
Yeah,
just it's such an exciting part of my life and to be doing something that I love since I was 13 and having it continue into a new hobby that I'm
yeah,
gonna carry through the rest of my life. I'm just so excited and very grateful that my parents were willing to help me through like the first couple years and now I'm able to hold my own ground and buy my own stuff to make with and whatnot. It's lovely, and they were very excited to have me start getting into entrepreneurship and whatnot, and kind of see things out when I was younger. And
yeah.
yeah,
That is absolutely fabulous. I love that. I love that. So I'm going to ask you, put you on the spot here. So if you were speaking to someone younger than you that's a little bit confused about what they might do, they might have an idea that they like something, but they're not sure. You're now going to be stepping into the realm of you've been mentored all these years, and you'll continue to be mentored as we all do. I continue to mentor others and be mentored. That's, I think, how we thrive best as
absolutely. You
humans.
can always learn from your peers.
Yes. So, what might you suggest, if you would at all, to a 13-year-old girl or boy out there that's kind of wondering, hey, there's this thing, whatever it is that I really like. Um, what would you be your encouragement to them?
You just need to do it, and don't ever let fear hold you back because,
Mm.
like, if you don't take your shot at something, then you'll regret it later in life. Absolutely. And
Mm.
you just need to go for what you love.
I love it. Well, thank you. And
Of
Kara, thanks
course.
so much for coming and hanging out with me. Is there anything? No, I'm going to have all your contact information will be in the show notes. People will be able to get a hold of you. They'll get to go and check out your stuff. There is coming up, hang on February 15th, right?
Yeah.
February 15th, you have your first design show, right? That you're going to have a piece in
Yeah.
it. You'll have one, well, I guess one piece, I would imagine. And can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so it'll be on February 15th and it begins at 7:15 and it'll end around 10 p.m. And it's going to be a bunch of local designers and models and like artists that do all the makeup and whatnot in the beauty industry. And they're all going to be from Vancouver Island and it's a really lovely show. And there's also going to be some proceeds that are going to go to the Victoria Women's Transition House.
Oh,
And they're going to be from
wow,
like the
great.
silent auction. Yeah, so
A
really
silent
recommend looking.
auction.
Yeah, I recommend looking into that, and it's a really great cause and whatnot. And then there's also going to be a designer market on the 22nd and 23rd that's going to have more local artists selling their stuff the weekend after the show, and it's going to be so much fun. And
Fantastic.
yeah, I'm
And what's
super
it called?
excited.
Please remind me what it's called, this event.
Fashion Splash.
Fashion Splash. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So that information will also be in the show notes. I don't know if you're listening and maybe you've got something to donate to the silent auction. Feel free to contact the people through Fashion Splash and see if that might be useful. Come, please come and
Yeah.
cheer on Kara, and we get to witness the creative genius that she is, and check out her Instagram page. Yeah, let's I'm really excited. I'm glad that I met you, and I'm excited to see all that will be for you in your beautiful life. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I'm so excited and thank you. Thank you for having me on here. It was
Oh,
lovely.
well, thank you for coming and being a guest. It was awesome. And so for now, I just want to say thanks to Kara Beach. And I want to say thanks to our listeners for coming and hanging out today. Please do remember to like and subscribe and tune in next time. And as always, find your joy. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found a piece of your joy in this episode, I would love to hear about what came up for you so that we can continue to grow the impact of this show. Thanks again. See you soon. And remember, find your joy.